Counselor? There's a raccoon stuck in the vending machine.
That's so annoying. I wanted a snack.
Welcome to Trail Mix.
Our mini episodes from Camp Counselors podcast.
Each week, the stories come from you, our Camp Shady Birch campers.
We want to hear your juicy gossip,
Top secret confessions,
embarrassing and scary stories.
and sprinkle in our sage counselor advice.
Trail Mix is for the campers.
And God, do we love ya.
Hey, happy campers!
Welcome back to Trail Mix.
This is our mini episode where we read listener-submitted stories. Thanks to listeners like you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you remember those little Oreos that would come in those packs? And they were like honestly always broken and like half apart, but they were mini.
Oh, and they were like 100 calories a pack.
No, because now you're thinking of those like diet ones. These were just for like kids, like babies.
Oh, I'm thinking of Chip Ahoy.
Yeah, well, they had one of those too. Nabisco's a big brand.
Those break way too easily.
Oh my God, guys. Can I just talk about how I'm having such an off 2 days? As we're recording this, there was a super moon.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what I'm blaming it on. And I'm not an astrological bitch, okay? I'm an Aquarius, and I can't tell you anything about you because I'm not you. I only know my own sign.
Not our astrological bitches clutching their astrological pearls.
Listen, you're into that, and I'm into Sister Wives. We all have to cover
That's
a different scope
That's
of our entertainment. But yeah, I'm blaming the super moon for being a super bitch to me because I've been so off. I just opened up a mini can of Coke Zero and spilled it everywhere. Also, important to note that I did drop the can on the ground and then said, it's not going to spritz.
Yeah.
Oh, it bubbled. That was basically like Maui in Moana. Was that the volcano?
I don't know. I haven't seen Moana all the way through yet.
What? And you're trying to force me to watch Encanto? Get in line. I still want to see Inside Out too.
Yeah, I heard that was good, but I heard mixed things about what happened after, but that's neither here nor there.
I just can't get into all the drama. I just can't. Literally everything on the internet is a lie, you guys. People are twisting and weaving stories that probably aren't true that are just clickbait for headlines. And that's how I really feel.
Who knew everyone was into tapestry so much, just twisting and weaving and really sewing together a big tapestry of lies? I'm not wearing shoes. This is the second show in the history of our time together that I have not worn shoes. I was like, why do I feel weird wiggling my toes? Because everyone could see these tippies.
Do you want to pause for a show?
No, before we jump into the stories, I will change. So get your view now.
God.
Maybe I'll block it out. I don't know.
You guys, oh my God, put one of those, because you keep it still, and then put one of those like pixelated.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
like they do on The Sims when they're naked.
That's exactly what you should do.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Wait, can I talk about something weird that happened to me today really fast?
Please.
Do we have time for it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I was being followed on the train today.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, I was on Tinks's podcast. It's called like It's Tinks. Tinks, the TikToker, Instagram. I'm sure a lot of you know her. She's very famous and very well known, but she has a podcast on Sirius XM and a radio show. They're different. So she's really, really well connected.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'll do the show. So I'm on my way there today, and I transferred trains, and this guy followed me off my train onto the new train, which is like totally normal. Like people are all going to similar places, I guess. But then I got out of the train and I felt him staring at me on the second train, and I looked up and he was looking at me. This is New York, guys. It really happens. Like sometimes the trains are super spooky, but this guy looked just a little off because he was like grilling me, but not in a mean way. Like just kind of staring at me.
Was he undressing you with his eyes? Because I'll fight.
But not in a fan way either. Like just kind of like just looking at me.
He was turned on.
Well, I have that ability
You
or
do.
effect on people. So, but this is when it gets weird, you guys. I get off the train and I'm posting an Instagram story promoting this podcast that you're listening to right now. So you guys don't need the promotion because you're already here, but share it with a friend. Anyways, and I'm like on the sidewalk. I'm on my phone and I'm looking for a place to get coffee before I go into the Sirius XM office. And I'm like on my phone for like probably 2 minutes, a full 2 minutes, scrolling, looking for a coffee place. And I'm on 47th Street and I go down to 42nd Street. That's 5 whole blocks to this like random coffee place. It doesn't matter. I go there to get a matcha because I don't want too much caffeine because then I'll be jittery. I go there, like a 5-minute walk to get coffee there, and I'm in line and I'm getting my matcha or whatever, and I step out of line and I go to look at a table, then I go back to wait for my coffee, and the man is right behind me ordering a coffee. So like, once again, there could be like, okay, he happened to go to the same area and he works there and he's getting a coffee at the place that you went to, but why was it directly after me? Like, where was he those 2 minutes I was on my phone? Was he like watching me from the corner and then followed me to the coffee shop? I was standing next to like the subway for 2 minutes looking for a coffee shop, and then I found it. That's just weird, right?
Yeah, that's extra time. That is bizarre. If
Extra
you would have been,
time.
it would have been different if you beelined it and it was the closest coffee shop off
And
of the
it
subway.
wasn't the closest coffee because that was Starbucks. I didn't want that. I'm not doing that.
No, I think he wanted your Pishka deal. I think he wanted your number.
But he didn't look at me in there. I don't even think he realized it. Am I just being weird? I don't know.
No, I feel like you get vibes and you should go with your gut. And
Yeah.
I think you were correct in saying that. I don't know if he had nefarious intentions.
I don't think he did because then he sat down and then I left. So like maybe it was just all, who knows? But once again, blaming this on Sister Moon.
Well, he could have sat down because he was going to wait to see where you went when you left. Maybe he followed you and you didn't know.
Lucky for me, this Sirius XM office is like basically like a government facility because it's like so much security. Like you have to get scanned in, badges, scanned up, go to certain elevators, then through another scanner. So there was no way he was following me beyond that. But hopefully he's not here right now. He was waiting outside the building.
Stop. That's
Babe,
so
I got a
weird.
good look at him. I could speak to a police sketch artist right now. Bald.
Shall we get into today's episode?
Yeah, I have a hot bridal camper who has been vindicated.
I've got a camper in a sticky situation with her wax lady.
Oh my God, I love that. And then I have a camper who had a surprise Tuna Reviewna gone wrong.
And a Nerf gun that caused $200,000 in damages and a lifetime supply of trauma for one woman.
Oh my God, let's get into it.
Are we qualified to be giving advice? No. Are we going to do it anyway? Absolutely. Welcome back to Dear Counselors. You've got a query and we've got a queer answer. If you need advice or someone you know needs advice, you can go to campcounselorspodcast.com or campcounselorspod@gmail.com. Send us an email and you might just end up on the show.
Perfect.
Okay, so let's get into this one. Dear Counselors, I'm writing because I'm facing a bit of an awkward situation and could really use your advice. For the past few years, I've been going to the same wax lady, and she's been great. Very professional, friendly, which is great considering she's seen my lady bits. Oh, and one more thing. She happens to be my upstairs neighbor. You would think it would be weird, but she's 20 years older than me and has kept it professional. Until recently.
Oh,
2 appointments ago, she made a remark about how it looked like I had missed a few sessions. Well, that's mortifying because I hadn't.
that's like I'm sorry, I'm going to stop for a second. That is so mean. And also maybe you're a Nutrafol and maybe you're growing into some thicker hair now because you're looking on your hair journey. Like that's not your fault.
Yeah,
But
mind
also,
your business.
yeah, I'm on your schedule, babe. Do you need me to see me sooner? Let's talk about it.
She said, well, that's mortifying because I hadn't, and I didn't think things were too grisly down there. She mentioned that I had some new stretch marks appearing and that she has a friend downtown that does laser skin resurfacing and microneedling.
I think we all have stretch marks, like where our like legs meet our lady bits and male bits and they bits. Like I think there's just like it's like a natural area to have stretch marks, and stretch marks aren't gross. So it's like
I don't think they're gross either. It's like they're there. Who cares? This mama tiger earned her stripes.
I was just gonna say mother's tiger stripes, but you beat me to it, you little bitch.
Okay, so now wax lady is like, hey, I got a friend downtown if you want to take care of those. Not her like pushing businesses and tearing this camper down. I don't like that.
Not
Okay.
me either.
I wasn't really concerned about my stretch marks, but now I feel self-conscious about them. And the last time I was there, she once again remarked about how bushy I was getting. Counselors, it really wasn't that bad, I swear. Let me just say, even if it was that bad, we don't care. Do you?
Also, this is the line of business she's in. It's like going to the dentist and then being like, ew, your teeth. It's like, baby, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, what
Like,
the fuck?
Yeah, like it's not like that's weird for her to even comment on that.
She then went on and said, we've got to take care of that to make sure your new boyfriend sticks around. What a bitch. She had, in fact, met my boyfriend while we were grabbing mail one day, and she was coming in from walking her dog. And for the record, my boyfriend has never even said a single thing about any extra hair I have or my stretch marks for that matter. She's been my wax lady for years, but now I dread making an appointment to see her and have started to hope I don't see her outside of our apartment, but I always do. If I go to another wax place, she will know, and she is the confrontational type to stop me and ask why I left her business. I don't want things to get even more awkward than they are now. What should I do? Signed, Bushy and Bothered in Cabin 17.
This is so sticky because at baseline I'd be like, don't ever go back. But the fact that you're in the same building as her,
Yeah.
like that's a lot. That's really difficult. I would say, I think it's coming from jealousy because I think you bringing a new man around, and I'm assuming she might be single, and she sees you flourishing and young and having fun. And I think she may be like just kind of lashing out in a weird way to bring the man into it, to bring like to shame you. There's some weirdness there. I want you to leave. I think you should leave. I think 3 strikes you're out, and I think you're probably on a 5th strike with her. So it's I'm sorry, a wax is a wax. There could be some bad waxes, but I'm sure a lot of people can do exactly what she's doing, and you pay for this. So I don't think she deserves your money. I would move on and deal with the awkwardness and just be like, oh, I'm growing it out. I'm braiding it. I'm actually dyeing it. I'm giving it a clown red fro. So
yeah, ask her if she provides that service.
Yeah, I have a friend that's also been who's also been attacked by her wax lady, her laser lady.
Is this a normal occurrence? I've never been to a wax person or to a laser lady, but what is this a common thing, camper? Somebody write in if you have a horror story. My God.
My friend, when she went there, she got it off Groupon, and she was trying to remember who she was like. It was her second session, so when she walked in, the laser lady was trying to like jog her memory, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you with the weird bush."
No, what?
Yeah,
with the weird bush.
Yeah, there's other stories that I'm forgetting, and I'll have to clear it by my friend to get some updates on that. But
are you sure? That sounds so crazy.
I'll tell you off camera who it was, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, totally."
I'm gonna be like, "Oh my God, no, totally. She has a weird bush."
Yeah.
No, I would never say that. Yeah, camper, I would say don't give this woman your money. And you know what? If you run into her out in the halls, you don't even have to hold a conversation. You could just like keep it trucking. Clearly it's bothering you enough to write in. So what's the point of staying there? You know?
Yeah, you deserve better.
You do.
Get out of the water and onto the dock. You're not going to believe what I just heard.
Welcome back to Gossip Doc. Ooh, give me that juice, give me that tea. It's not about you, it's involving we, because we're listening to you talk shit about somebody you know.
Wow.
That's why I love this segment.
That was great.
Because you just like take the pressure off yourself and like just talk about somebody else.
Yeah, don't we love doing that?
Well, this is Gossip Doc, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Hey, happy counselors. I just wanted to say that I love you both so much and can't wait to see you live. Woo! Tickets still on sale. I need to share the story of one of the most climactic days of my life. That just happened to also be my wedding day. Picture this. It's 2015 and I'm getting married. My wedding colors are obviously purple and turquoise. Love is in the air, but so is tension. You see, things are amiss between my soon-to-be husband's brother, let's call him Mason, and his girlfriend, let's call her Abby. Okay, so the brother-in-law and the sister-in-law, Mason and Abby. To set the stage, I need to explain a little bit more about my husband's family. They are extremely Christian, think purity culture, evangelical, Pentecostal, and they aren't thrilled that my husband is going to marry me as I, quote, don't seem to have good enough relations with Jesus. Relationship, not relations. Sorry. My husband's mom is especially weary of our marriage, and I knew I could never be as good as Abby in her eyes. You see, Abby started dating Mason when she was a teenager, and she began attending church with Mason and my husband's family. Okay, so she is obviously more aligned with the Christian values than our camper here. Abby fit right in, attended Bible studies, writing devotional blogs that my husband's dad calls inspirational. Wow. Spending all of her time with Mason's mom, and even refers to Mason's mom as mom. Basically, she was a huge suck up, and she loved to tell my husband's mom about my sins, aka my college drinking adventures with my friends. Ew, girl.
Leave it in the past. Shut up.
It's like
weirdo.
not that serious either. So all of my friends knew she was a huge pain in the ass, and as you can imagine, they were very excited to tell me that at my wedding reception, Abby and Mason were not speaking to each other.
Ooh.
This adds to the happiness of my wedding day, and I continue to have a blast at my reception, dancing with my husband and I's friends and family.
Oh my God, that's the bitterness.
So she's loving it. Except I notice one important person is missing. My husband finds his mom sitting at a table with Mason, far away from the joy and laughter that is her son's wedding. She tells my husband that she is not in the mood to dance and that Mason and Abby have broken up because Abby is no longer a Christian. Abby has told Mason that she doesn't have faith anymore and no longer wants to be with him. My husband's mom is devastated. Not only is she losing the daughter she never had, but her precious Abby is now going to burn in hell from becoming an atheist. During the rest of our wedding reception, my husband's mom is moping around, only focusing on Abby and Mason while everyone else is celebrating our wedding day. That's so fucked up. It's like this is your son's wedding. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like shut
lock
up.
in for a minute on the importance of the day, not Mason and Abby being selfish and trying to take that away from you.
Also, did Abby just let her know? Like, as we're walking,
I think so.
Well, I wouldn't put it past her to ruin a day.
This really bothered me for my husband's sake. Anyway, we go to our honeymoon, and the day after we get home, I get a phone call of the juiciest gossip ever from my best friend. She tells me that Abby had been cheating on Mason with a guy named Tim, all the while playing as a good, pure Christian girl for the past couple months.
I knew it.
Abby and Tim were even seen at our local ice cream shop on a date after my wedding reception. What is this? Salt Lake City? Like, they're not at the bar. Getting a quick scoop.
Well, she's an atheist now.
Well, you're right. I don't know what this is. My friend found out this information because we all lived in a pretty small town and we had a couple mutual friends with Tim. Apparently, Tim loves to brag about all of his sexual encounters with Abby and how he was opening Abby's eyes to the world of atheism. There's not really a world of atheism. If you don't believe in religion, that's just kind of it. Like, there's no more deeper conversation. Like, that's not a world. That's kind of just a perspective.
It's not Mormonism. We're not like
even any religion is kind of like a world in a sense because you're learning about the lore and the facts. But like atheism is just like nothing. So,
yeah. It's
the world
there.
of what, baby? World of wonder? No, I'm not doing it. Abby, of course, did not mention her affair to Mason when she broke up with him.
Of course not.
She just blamed it all on her lost faith.
Mm-hmm.
You can imagine that as I'm hearing this gossip, my eyes are as big as Scoop Marie's tennis balls. I get off the phone with my friend and relay all this news to my husband. He then calls his brother to tell the truth about why Abby broke up with him.
Tea.
Okay, so now it's the plot thickening.
Yeah.
Poor Mason had no idea and was understandably very upset. He hangs up on my husband after he declares he's going to drive to Tim's house and confront him. Oh, God. My husband's mom calls my husband and she's sobbing.
Girl, sit down, Mom.
She was with Mason when he heard the news, and she's trying to stop Mason from leaving in a fit of rage. The drama is through the roof. I can hear through my husband's phone her wailing, begging Mason to come back as he gets in the car to drive to Tim's house. Meanwhile, I'm fluttering around my apartment on the phone with my best friend, giving her the play-by-play. Abby's fall from grace and being cut out of the picture was truly the best wedding present I could ever ask for. Speaking of pictures, thank God I didn't include Abby in any of my family wedding photos.
Yes.
Signed, the triumphant bride in cabin 5.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, you didn't wish this on Abby, but it does make you look better.
And honestly, you didn't do a single thing. It all comes out. Hey, the cream always rises to the top.
Yeah, I don't think you need to, I mean, obviously you don't, but there's no guilt in feeling happiness in this because the way you've been treated the past couple years.
She did it to herself.
She's vindicated, but you didn't contribute to any of this, so you just get to enjoy it. And I love that.
Cults are everywhere. They don't just live in the walls of NXIVM and Scientology.
There are sex cults,
Self-help cults,
workout cults,
political cults,
even legging cults.
and on the podcast, Was I in a Cult? We focus on the brave individuals who have lived through them.
I'm Liz Iacuzzi.
And I'm Tyler Measom.
Your host of Was I in a Cult?
Join us each week as we take you through a heroic roller coaster of someone's journey in and out of a cult.
With a little levity thrown in because humor is healing and cults are funny.
Listen to and follow Was I in a Cult at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Which for Tyler is at Rite Aid.
On tape.
This is a really big secret. Thank God we're on a body of water. This is Confession Canoe.
Welcome back to Confession Canoe. If you have something you want to confess, you can write it in here. We will always keep you anonymous. Hi, happy counselors.
Hey.
This story takes place in 2017 on one fateful summer afternoon. I landed a job at a small tech-adjacent startup a few months before. I had just started to get situated in my job role and was making friends with all my new nerdy coworkers. The vibes were good, and it was a typical office you would imagine when you think of a show like Silicon Valley, though on a much, much smaller scale. We only had about 50 people in total. Just the day prior, our startup announced that we were being bought out by a big, giant megacorp. Sorry, that sentence was hard for me. Okay, so we're in steamy water now, okay? This was super exciting and terrifying because I was a young whippersnapper early in my career and I had no idea what that meant. Anywho, once 2 p.m. hits, many employees start what we call in the biz dicking around. Some people were still actually working or in meetings, but most of us were just getting into the tomfoolery. A casual Nerf gun war began between myself and some of my newfound marketing pals. We were running around the kitchen, ducking behind half walls and causing a general ruckus. As I rounded a corner and ducked into my office area, I noticed one of my very tall friends in the kitchen, a perfect target. That's literally me. Like, I'm always the target with my big ass long head. All I needed to do was shoot over the marketing area between us. So I took a breath, aimed my perfect shot, and pulled the trigger. This is like you with the bow and arrow.
It is.
Immediately, panic ensues. Alarms start blaring. Water starts pouring from the ceiling. To my horror, I did not, in fact, hit my friend as planned. My little Nerf dart had directly hit the fire sprinkler above the marketing area. Campers, if you have not seen a fire sprinkler go off, it is horrifying. It happened to me. I've talked about it before. But it is so scary. There is so much water. Most of it is brown because it's been sitting in the pipes just waiting to be burst. I don't know if they're all like this, but the one that happened when I was there, it was like a little wax stick. And if it's like nudged or pulled or the the wax melts, that's what sets the sprinklers off. So it really doesn't take much, just like a Nerf gun. And that's what happened here at work. And she's kind of new to this company that just got bought out.
Yeah, and you hit it with a Nerf gun, which is like, obviously, when you have to retell that later, you can't. Well, it was an accident. I was playing with a Nerf gun. It's like, well, why were you playing with a Nerf gun?
Yeah, you're literally at work.
Yeah, I get it. This happened to me before too.
It was absolute chaos. I dropped the Nerf gun on the ground faster than you could believe. And I stood there with my mouth open while people started shouting. Icky, gross water started spraying everywhere. The alarms were screeching. We grabbed our laptops, our key. Oh my God, I didn't even think about the tech. We grabbed our laptops, keyboards, extension cords, everything we could before getting soaked. Someone ran into the meeting room where our CEO was, and all you could hear through the glass was frantic arm movements pointing at me. Oh, I'm sorry, all you could see. Yikes, girl. It's been all of 5 minutes at this point. The water is filling up the marketing area so fast. The whole building was evacuated, and I sheepishly decided I should also make a quick exit. About 10 firemen burst through the doors, beef on their breath, and mustaches above their lip. Full-on axes out and everything. It was so hot out too. Ugh.
This is awful.
As I pushed through the doors, hearing my actual heart pounding in my ears, I exited to the streets to not only see our building was evacuated, but the entire block. There were people everywhere. I pushed through the crowds and I catch snippets of people wondering what happened. Who could have done it? Was there an actual fire? I'm feeling like a whore in church trying to not make eye contact. I don't want anyone to know it was me. I make it to an alleyway and I do the only thing I could think of. Call my mom. I'm having a panic attack at this point. I don't even think she understood what I was saying between hyperventilating and sobbing. Girl, I get it. This is a lot. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot and it's scary and it's shocking when it happens and it wasn't you, but this was you. At the end of explaining what happened, all she said was, "Oh, you're fucked." Thanks, Mom. After about 10 minutes of crying in the alleyway, I pulled myself together and I walked to the bar around the corner to meet some of my now displaced coworkers. Everyone's gabbing about who could have caused this mess. Someone said, "I heard it was one of the people playing with the Nerf guns." I was absolutely silent. I contemplated just lying in that moment and never showing back up to work again. I could change my name and I could leave it all behind. Eventually, I said, "It was me." And everyone laughed and also agreed that I'd probably get fired. After a little liquid courage, I walked back to the office, not her getting drunk and then going back.
She's like soaking wet in a Zara blazer. She's like, "It was me."
It is 2017, so it's like we're just out of the cusp where it was like probably cobalt blue and like a bright yellow.
Yeah, like chevron and like a big like maybe owl necklace if we're lucky.
Yeah.
And she didn't have waterproof mascara on because she didn't think she'd need it.
But she did.
And she just looks like a raccoon.
Or Lauren Conrad in that iconic scene from The Hills. We all know it. So after a little bit of liquid courage, I went back to the office and apologized directly to the CEO.
Good. It's a good move.
Thankfully, he thought it was kind of hilarious and was incredibly chill about it. He said not to worry, accidents happen, and somehow I kept my job.
Wow.
A few months after the incident, we had an office secret Santa, and I was given a rain jacket, boots, and an umbrella, and the broken sprinkler from that fateful day. Oh my God, she got to keep it like a little prize. It was the office joke for years. But I'd also like to point out that it was a 1 in a million shot to get the Nerf dart exactly through the little sprinkler cage. Oh, it was one of the little caged ones, and break the little glass. Oh, okay, I see.
That is a 1 in a million shot. You athlete, get to the Olympics immediately.
If it wasn't an accident, it would be literally, if it wasn't an accident, it would be super impressive, and I would probably be fast tracked to the Olympics.
Wow.
2 years after the incident, I was talking to someone who worked in the giant megacorp company that bought us out. He mentioned the sprinkler incident and rolled his eyes. Oh, I said, that was my fault. He replied, that was you? Turns out my little oopsie cost the company a ridiculous amount in damages, around $200,000. I believe it. Water damage, all of the tech shit that you busted, and oh my God, the Nerf gun. How can we replace that? Literally the day after they had signed papers and acquired the startup, they had to foot the bill. That's probably why the CEO was so fine with it.
That's what I was thinking. I thought to myself, I'm like, he doesn't care because he just made like a deal of a lifetime. He's like, whatever, it's not my job now.
Yeah. They had to pay for all the property damages and a company to dry out the office for 4 days straight, and then people couldn't work. That's crazy. Anywho, that's possibly the most insane thing that could have ever happened to me, and it still makes me both chuckle and break into a cold sweat thinking about it. I still have the sprinkler sitting on my shelf as a reminder to never pick up a Nerf gun again. With all the love in the world, the archery queen in cabin 13. That was iconic.
It's incredible that you also decided to like just take ownership of it.
Yeah.
That shows a lot of character because you could have been fired, and I'm surprised you weren't, and I'm happy you weren't because karma's a good thing. And it was an accident, a very expensive accident, and a 1 in a million shot.
Brave girl boss. Brave girl boss mama.
If you could change your fate, would you?
Scary stories around the campfire.
Welcome back to Scary Stories Around the Campfire. I'm just continuing the Scottish accent. Can I just do it for a minute?
You love Brave.
I do. I actually only seen Brave once, and I didn't love it because it didn't give Disney vibes.
I have no clue what it's about.
It's about a Scottish girl.
And that's about all I know.
I'll say this. She's brave as fuck.
I bet.
And the animation's really pretty. I like when Disney for a couple of years was like, fuck the face. We're just going to worry about the hair.
And that's really what they did.
Yeah. Maybe we should rewatch, but I don't have time. There's so many things I want to watch before that. Anyways, this isn't about Brave and Merida. This is about scary stories. So put on your life jackets, campers. We're catching tuna, this camper wrote.
Oh, I love that.
Picture this. It's my sophomore year of college at Plymouth State University. If this is the one that I think it is, Kira went there and so did Amanda.
Well, I'm sure that I think if it's a state, there's only one. Plymouth State University. Oh, we went there. We didn't attend, but we went there to a bar one time.
Yeah, but Plymouth isn't a state.
No, but Plymouth State University, if I Google it, there's only going to be one.
Yeah, there can't be multiple.
Yeah, they can't
what
do
am
that.
I even
This
saying?
isn't DeVry.
I'm like, oh, what? The Harvard in Florida? Like, no, there's just one Harvard, baby. There's just one Plymouth State. Yeah, so Kira is an alum and so is Amanda.
Oh my God, I wonder if they were roomies.
It's a Saturday morning, and thankfully, there are not too many people hanging out in the dorm building. I, for some reason, was awake early-ish and thought it would be a good idea to shower. Let me tell you right now, this was not a good idea. I was completely naked, but wrapped in my Hannah Montana towel, walking down the hallway towards the bathroom. At the end of the hallway was a door that led to a small common area where the floors were old cracked tile. This stinky elevator with new burn holes from drunk weasels, some small bench seats, and a tacky bulletin. Okay, so she's explaining kind of the common room. I didn't go to college like this, so I always think this is interesting.
Our common room was stinky and all the furniture was like sharp.
Yeah, it's like weighted wooden furniture, so you can't pick it up and throw it at people, basically.
Yeah, and they would kind of like rock back and forth. Like if you wanted to lean, they had like a little thing on the bottom, but they were not fun or comfortable.
Yeah. When I pushed open the door to get into the common area, I took one step on the tile floor and slipped. I shit you not, a drunk kid must have emptied 100 cans of tuna fish on the floor because he thought it would be hilarious. I took one step in this smelly goo and went flying to the floor.
Not the goo.
My towel was thrown across the common area and I could not get up. The tuna caused the floor to act like an ice rink. Oh, to act as like an ice rink. Me, being the disgusting girl I am, did not have flip-flops on because, again, I'm gross. Not proud. But I was trying to stand up, but the slippery floor prevented me from going anywhere. So then I was naked and flailing, absolutely covered in wet tuna.
I just picture like an old movie in black and white where it's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
But she's naked at college.
And covered in tuna. I was naked at college too.
And she's like, I didn't wear my flip-flops. Okay,
That's
I don't
gross.
care.
Camper, we gotta assess.
She acknowledged it. Don't bring it down. Don't bring it down.
All right.
After what felt like an entire minute had passed, I finally crawled my way to my towel and was able to cover up. So she's like naked on the floor, covered in a Hannah Montana wet tuna towel.
Flopping around in the tuna.
I was gagging and trying not to throw up. I get it. I had tuna in every crevice of my body, and I was petrified someone saw all this commotion unfold.
My God. Well, you know, at least somebody didn't, because I thought the story was going to take the turn where like, and then people on tour came around the corner. Can you imagine a family on tour?
Exactly. Thank God I was on my way to the shower and basically had to scrub my skin off just to not smell like a dirty Subway sweatshop. Never trust a college dorm room and never eat canned tuna. Signed, Fishy Girl in the isolation cabin from The Parent Trap.
Wow, that's gross. And I'm glad you were on your way to the shower, because it probably would have been more annoying if you had just came out.
Yeah, but it sucks because she got up early and was like, I'm going to be productive and be the first one in the shower for the day. And that's what she got.
That's super moon behavior.
Had you just slept in, this would have been someone else's problem and you would have got to laugh at someone else's story. But thank God you did, because now we have this story and this was a really good one.
That's disgusting. Like, who thinks that's hilarious? Let me open all these cans of tuna and dump them on the floor. It's just going to reek.
In every crevice of her body. My God. Well, that's all we have for today, folks. If you'd like to be a part of Trail Mix, please send your stories into campcounselorspodcast.com or campcounselorspod@gmail.com.
And if you enjoyed the show, please refer a friend and give us 5 stars wherever you can rate us. We would greatly appreciate it.
Perfect. And with that being said, lights out, campers.